Hi, I'm Mash Ponigala, brand strategist at Spellbrand. Welcome back to the series on the hero's journey, the audience journey, and how your brand can use the structure of the hero's journey to communicate and create emotional bonds with your audience and creating, of course, loyalty. In the last step, we spoke about the ordeal. This is where, in a hero's journey, the hero goes through this kind of complete pivotal moment, the ordeal, and they come out and they're now at almost the cusp of what they set out to do, either to success in that journey or failure. In terms of the audience journey, this is where you have given them your offer, and you're helping them decide, make the final decision, so to speak. In today's video, we're talking about the reward, step number 9. Now, the reward is what the hero gets after overcoming the ordeal, right? And it's not success yet. They haven't completely finished their journey, but they have now come to the stage where they're in the transition mode. Now let's look at the movies and see how this story plays out. If you're looking at Lord of the Rings, then Frodo sort of feels this power of the ring. So in Lord of the Rings, the reward comes in different stages, right? So the first reward is after the ordeal. The ordeal is where, of course, he almost died, and then he's saved, and he heads out to Mount Doom. In the kind of reward stage here, the first reward, the 3 rewards for Frodo. The first is he feels the pull of the ring, and he decides to keep it. He doesn't want to destroy it, and this is it. He just says, "This is my reward. I want to keep it." And of course, Gollum wants the ring, and there's going to be a fight about it, and he will overcome it. But at this stage, though, and this is a fluid stage, right? He doesn't want to destroy the ring. In Star Wars, because Luke has been through the ordeal of watching Ben die, he decides in the reward stage, of course, the reward is he's saved Princess Leia. The Princess Leia has been saved. That is the reward. But he's also made a decision to completely commit himself to the Resistance and destroy the Death Star. So this is kind of the reward, saving the princess, but also reward doesn't always necessarily mean something gaining, right? It's also a state of mind. When your state of mind changes, that is a reward. That's why they say it's a rewarding experience, right? When you go, you meet someone or you talk to someone and they say it's a rewarding experience. What reward did you get? It's a satisfaction. It's an emotional thing too. In the Matrix, the reward is a little more direct. Trinity and Neo, they go through this huge action sequence and fight the bad guys, the agents and all, and they save Morpheus. So saving Morpheus is a reward, but it's not the end of the journey. It is not the ultimate reward. They will have to go on, and of course, there's more, and we'll talk about it in the next video. But this is a reward right there. Now, how does this play in terms of your audience? So your audience have gone through the ordeal, which is that they have a decision to make. They've got 2 or 3 different options in front of them. One of them, hopefully, is your brand, is your product, is your service. And you give them an offer, you give them a discount. What can you do in this stage? Reward. The reward stage is, again, it might sound a little confusing, a little counterintuitive because you've already made the offer. What else can you do now, right? You actually go back. This is a step back. This is about messaging and communication to your audience about the immersive state of owning your product or experiencing your service, or how it would feel after they have received it. So you need to paint that picture, and you do that in this reward. You give them the emotional reward, a rewarding experience of seeing beforehand what would happen if they go for your product or they buy your service. And this is, of course, content. This is about messaging, the brand stories that you broadcast on your website, on YouTube, on social media. And this is all about the state of mind after they have purchased it. What if, right? So what would happen? You paint a picture. You create a clear kind of a narrative. That's the action step, creating a narrative and giving them the vision of how they would be, how their lives would be once they have your product or service. It's all a narrative kind of step. And yes, it sounds a little difficult. It sounds a little confusing and also counterintuitive because you've already made the offer, you've already given the discount, or you've had a sales campaign. What else can you do? While your audience is deliberating, while they're thinking through and ready to pull the final trigger, you don't harp on with the same sales message, right? You don't just keep on saying, yeah, buy it, here's the discount. No, you've made the offer, you step back, and then you paint a picture. You show a painting, right? You're holding up a painting, not the discount. So you've shown them the discount in the previous step. Now you show a painting or a picture, a photograph or a video, right? Metaphorically speaking, showing them what, so they can see themselves. So they bought the Leica camera. What is the experience that they're having, right? They're walking around with this beautiful looking camera in their hands, around their neck. People are actually looking at them, admiring them. And they are having a great experience through the rangefinder. You know, that whole Leica feeling, and the photos that come out, they got that Leica look to them. It's that enjoyment, the joy, that is what needs to be communicated at this stage. This is not a hard sales step. Again, you pull back because hard sales was in the previous step. You pull back and you give subtle kind of sales. So it's still sales, but very subtle. It's a very conflicting, very confusing step, but the reward is important because most people think that the sale is the reward. No, the sale is not the reward. And we will talk about in the next one. The next step in this journey is the roadblock, the resurrection, and the return. Actually, there are 3 steps. Like I said in the beginning, in the introduction video, I've clubbed these 3 steps into one step, right? But we'll still call it the roadblock, the resurrection, and the return. And we'll talk about that in the next video.